Hello, this is Marcus with Aquarium Hacks. Today I'm just going to be talking about how to do some quick filters, maybe for a quarantine tank. And these filters are even good enough to even be permanent filters, even for something small like a 5 gallon, from 5 to like maybe 20 gallons. You can even, if you put enough of them in your tank, they can even do something as large as even, I guess, as large as you want it. It's according to how many filters that you want in your tank that's like this. And this is a great way to also, if you have, let's just say you've got a lot of fish tanks and you need a lot of filtration in there. This is a great cheap way in order to make a lot of filters. So I'm going to talk you through it. Now, the only thing is that this is not cheap if you don't have the right tools. Okay, so if you don't have a drill, if you don't have PVC pipes, if you don't have pipe cutters, if you don't have maybe some sponges, if you don't have no air pumps, if you don't have no heavy biological filtration, this can be quite expensive startup. But once you have all your material together, you can make as many of these filters as you possibly want to make. But if you're just making it just for like 1 or 2 tanks, this is pretty expensive, especially if you don't have all the materials that you need. As mentioned before, the drill bits, pipe cutters, and stuff like that. But if you already have that stuff, then these filters will only cost you very, very little money to do. Anyway, I want to show just really quickly on how I do some of these sponge filters, biological like filters. Like this one in the tank, which was in my 10-gallon quarantine tank. I had bought some new fish, and they're in the quarantine tank. And so let me take this one out and put it in this bucket, and I'll just show you really quick what it's made out of. Okay, so we're going to, so as you can see here, this is what it's made out of. It's made, I try to get closer to the camera there, but it's made out of just a simple soda bottle, and I just simply drill holes in it, right? Just simply drill holes all the way around it. Even if you want to, you can drill holes in the bottom, like these little indentures here. You can drill holes right there so that water can get sucked up through there as well. And then what I just simply did was, because this will float, okay? So what I did was take some heavy biological media, such as these ceramic rings, and I put it on the bottom to keep it from floating. You don't have to use ceramic rings. You can use gravel or anything that's heavy enough to keep this from floating, because this is in a bottle and the sponge will float. Then I just simply took me a sponge, which I bought that sponge there. One of the matter of fact, this is a ATI, I think, sponge number 3, and this is actually made for the actual pre-filter for like your canisters or your hang-on-the-backs. And then I just simply cut, as you can see here, a PVC pipe. This is about 3/4 here, 3/4 PVC pipe, and this might even be a 1/2 inch. But then I just cut that, put that down in there just like that. Put the air stone down in there, stays in there very well. So that then I just stuff the little extra sponge around the pipe, and it works out really well, because water's going to get drawn in here on the top with the sponge, down on the bottom, and through the sides where I drill some holes. It makes an excellent biological filter, or just a quarantine filter, or a permanent filter. Now let's move on to my next project here that I created, and I really like this one. Now this don't allow, of course you could put a sponge filter in here or something like that, but this one is really good too, and this one is bigger. Now what I've done here was use a Powerade bottle. The reason why I use a Powerade bottle on this one is because it is a very good, sturdy, strong plastic bottle. And so what I've done here is I drilled holes all the way around here where those diamonds is at. I drilled a hole, each one of there, and I drilled some pretty big holes there. And then I drilled some holes, as you can see here, probably on the bottom. So I drilled holes on the bottom, and then I just took me a PVC pipe, and this is about an inch PVC pipe, and I stuck it in there. Then I put all the heavy stuff on the bottom. Now what's so great about this filter, of course I drilled holes on the top as well. What's so great about this filter is that it actually has a top on it. Now you just kind of squeeze to get that top off. And so what happens there, squeeze to get that top off. I put some sponges around there. And then I put of course, my PVC pipe. And then your air stone is going to go right down there in the middle, right on the bottom. Really, really, really excellent filter. And so you cut your top, right? You see this top right here? You cut that top right around where the ring is at, right here. You cut it right around where that ring is at. And then you just cut your top like that around that ring. Slide this on top. And then you squeeze it in just like that. Squeeze in like that. Makes an excellent filter. Fill it up with some heavy media, whether that be gravel, whether that be lava rock, ceramic rings, Seachem matrix, pun matrix. Makes a really great filter for that. And this is a bigger filter, and so it will definitely, you can definitely put this in like a 20-gallon tank to do a 20-gallon. You can customize this to any way that you want to customize it, and it will work great. Just love this kind of filter because it has a top on it and all of that. And it's very heavy and it weighs right down on the bottom. And so you just simply, if I can get this air stone out of here. Whoop, can't get that air stone out of there. I have to push it out later on. But you just simply take your air stone, just pretend like there's an air stone on there, and you just simply push it down into the bottom and keep it down there just like that. Bubbles will come up and you will have an excellent filter. Well, let's see. Maybe I can give a demonstration of it in the tank actually working. Let's just take it here, and here it goes. So I put it in there, and there she is. Now the reason I say put an air stone in it is because you will have smaller bubbles, of course, with an air stone, and it won't cause so much turbulence coming up. But that works very well, as you can see here. Let me show you. So that works very well as an excellent filter in your tank, and it even have a top on it. You can easily take the top off and put a top back on it. So that's a very, very good filter. So if you were doing a large tank, you might have to have several of these in the background, running in the background in order to do your larger tank. But this filter alone, this one is good for anywhere between 10, and I would say by itself between 10 and 20. You get up to like 30 gallons, 40 gallons, you might need to use 2 of these. You get beyond 40 gallons, like a 55 4-foot tank, I would say you probably would need 3 of these. And then 75 gallon, you will probably need like 4. But just have 4 of them like in the background, and they will do just great. Now, will they do great for a heavily populated tank? Probably not. But will it do great for just your average fish tank? It definitely will. Can you combine them with power filters and canisters? For 100% for sure you can. So these are excellent filters. I really like using them. I really like making them. They're a lot of fun. They're really easy to make. And so I just wanted to show you those filters. And then just this little hack that if you got a large fish room, buy yourself some Powerade bottles, which cost 88 cents at Walmart. Get you some hard media or get you some pea gravel. Get you some sponge. Get you a drill. Get you some 10 feet or 8 foot, 1 inch PVC pipe, and your drill bits, and you're ready to go. And you can customize this in any way that you want to customize it. So this is just a quick way on how to make some of these filters. I've used them for years, and they have always done good. The only bad part about these filters now, you can't put pot scrubbies in them because it just isn't enough room, and pot scrubbies just do not work good in a filter like this. But sponges work good, and definitely hard media like ceramic rings, pun matrix, gravel, things of that nature, biomedia, that will do excellent in these kinds of setups. All right, so that was just a little tip on how I got some of these filters set up. See you on the next video.